Did that on
Did you
purpose.
do that on purpose? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine then.
Comedy, innit?
That's good. Very good. Welcome. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's spatty everywhere. That was the first moment we were going to start recording. Our producer Eliot has his head in his hands. That was the first moment of us ever recording our podcast. You spat over the table. You did it all over the TV.
I've never done it that far.
No, we just
Okay, I'm getting. I've got to take another phone call.
You have to hold your microphone up. You're not even holding your microphone.
I've got to take a phone call in a bit about my other podcast.
Fuck off with your other fucking podcast. Welcome to another episode of Why Is Harriet Crying? We had a bad start. We don't
Sorry about
usually
that.
edit, but we had to because Sunil was covered in spit. So we just had to have a little break. We are recording this for the first time ever. Am I meant to look down the camera?
Just look at like you normally look.
Like,
you don't just ignore the
I feel
camera.
like I'm
Don't look down the lens.
Did you say you're recording this for the first time ever?
No,
It's not a podcast.
Yeah.
No.
No, we are recording as a podcast, but we're also filming it. It's very unnatural, and it's not what we usually do. Are you going to spit again?
No, I'm just putting my tissue away.
Great. Oh my god. Yeah. So welcome.
Thanks. Welcome.
Not you, Sean. I looked at you
Okay,
by accident.
yeah.
Welcome, Sean, to the podcast.
Thank you.
You've been a guest before.
Is that your introduction?
You're a guest again. That is the introduction. I'm very thrown by Sunil spitting all over the table.
Do you want to not usually they say like your full name.
Oh, sorry. Sean McLoughlin.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
It's good to be back. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Your thing is a bit like, is it meant to be like, it's a bit not even. I don't know if that's fine.
What, my muff? Is that?
I don't know if
Is
that's
it
a
fine?
problem. Just fix it. You've been on the podcast before when you were sad when you went to a railway museum.
Yeah, it wasn't sad. That was not.
You cried because you.
Yeah, well,
it
that's
made you
different,
sad.
isn't it?
Yeah.
The podcast.
But you didn't actually cry though, did you? You
No,
just
I was
felt
welled up.
emotional.
I was
Yeah,
welled up.
welled up.
Yeah.
By the
No,
railway,
he welled up.
by the trains.
I was just.
Welled
I was
up,
very
so
moved.
tears in
He was
your
moved.
eyes.
He was
I
moved.
was very moved by it. Yeah.
Not to tears though.
No.
You held them in against your will.
Well, I mean, I don't think I would have been thrown out if I'd cried.
For the sake
Yeah.
of your wife.
For the sake of my wife. Yeah.
Who shouldn't see you crying.
No, not in those circumstances.
Do you take your wife to a lot of railway museums?
No.
I'd like to go to a railway museum.
I
actually.
would
I'd like-
not. Actually, I have no interest.
Okay.
How many railway museums are there?
Oh, a fair few. There's a lot of old steam railways that they start up again for tourists to travel on.
Do you know what? It's funny. You were talking yesterday about my wife. You're talking today about my wife. Actually, about 2 minutes ago.
What is happening?
Yesterday, my wife said to me.
Say my wife like that. I know you're just trying not to do the Borat impression.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my wife said, "Oh, we should go on a steam engine."
Yeah.
So actually, maybe it's going to be more train-based crying in the future.
But you can have a nice dinner on them. They're very nice inside. Like really old ones.
I get trains all the time. Why would I want to go on one that's worse than the one that I usually
Because
get?
it's really scenic. It's nicer than
Every
the one you
train is
usually
scenic.
get.
You just look out a window. That is what a train is.
Wow.
It's going places.
Very
that is-
cynical.
Sorry, I've got cynical with my old age, and I feel sick on trains.
How old are you now?
32.
Playing age? Oh, right. 32?
Yeah, 32.
Very good.
Yeah, you're 32 soon.
Yep.
A couple of weeks.
A few weeks, yeah.
Anyway, welcome. What have we all been up to?
Loads of stuff. Been doing loads of stuff. Just been doing the old usual comedy stuff and no, like because I told you what I'd been up to and you told me
Yeah.
it wasn't interesting enough for the podcast.
Well, because all you ever say is you've had a haircut.
I had a haircut,
You can't
yeah.
just say that you've had a haircut. Like,
I
what is
go,
there to say about that? Unless something interesting happens with the haircut, there's nothing we
Well,
can
it's
say.
I'm not going to tell you that. Oh, I've done some gigs because everyone does that.
Also boring. Gigs, haircut, boring. Do something out of your comfort zone.
I went to Birmingham
That's outside of your comfort zone.
for a gig.
Yeah. How was that?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't get paid much for it.
Oh.
I don't know why I accepted it. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Did you make enough to cover your haircut?
No, the haircut's very expensive.
Why do you have very expensive haircuts?
Because it just makes me feel okay about getting a haircut. I'm like, okay, this is the best I can do. I'm not going to do better
What,
than
you're
that.
scared of them? Like,
If I got a cheap haircut, I'd be like, I could have got a better haircut. But if I just get like a good quality haircut,
sorry, I just.
Sorry, that thing.
How much are your haircuts?
Between £8 and £15.
And how much are your haircuts?
30.
30.
2.
32. So many times. Sean, you could get your haircut 4 times.
I've got a weird shaped head
Impressive.
though, so I need to splash out on haircuts.
So Sean.
No, Sean's got a perfectly adequately shaped head.
Thank you.
Yours is massive.
Yours is massive.
No, we've done this before.
Yeah,
Mine's
I
actually
know,
smaller than
yeah,
yours.
Yeah, I know. Mine's just yours is weirdly shaped, I think.
Yeah, it's triangular.
It's a bit cone-like.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
That's
You
why
look
I've got to
at
get a
it.
good
Yeah, I know,
haircut
I get
to
that
cover up
now.
my cone head.
Yeah.
So you're like one of the cone heads.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am
From that
like
film.
one of the cone heads. So yeah, I got a haircut. Went to Birmingham. I thought I'd come out of the Birmingham gig like up money wise,
Yeah.
but then
Well, you're working. You'd expect.
You'd
to make
expect
money,
to,
that's
wouldn't
what
you?
you'd
But
expect
after the
from your
train
job.
ticket,
Yeah.
lunch at Pret, or dinner at Pret, and then I was going to be up, and then I went into a little shop in the station that sold USB cables, and I bought one of them, so I was
Wow.
down. So I lost money on that trip.
Why did you buy a USB cable?
Because it's got USB to USB-C and Lightning and micro USB all in one cable.
Don't know what any of that means.
I think like, you can get those for cheaper than 15 quid,
Yeah,
surely.
train station's the most expensive places to buy those. Actually, you should have ordered it online
Well, I think you can probably get them in some pound
or a pound
lands.
shop for £1 probably.
But if it's well made, then
Yeah, it's well made.
can't put a,
Yeah,
can't-
can't
you
put a price
can't
on a
put a price on
well-made
that.
cable.
You can't put price on it.
So my news is I
Yeah.
bought a cable.
Great. That's
But I've done
great.
loads of stuff.
Don't know if you have.
Well,
I think you're depressed.
no, I did a couple of days of filming and stuff. A bit of fun.
Good for you.
What have you done? I think you're
What
depressed.
were you filming?
I was
People,
filming a
animals.
short with Jordan Brooks.
Oh, you were in it. I thought you meant you were filming things.
No, that's not my job.
Birds or-
That's absolutely not my
No.
job at all. Birds and that. And then just a bit of fun at the weekend,
Yeah,
bit of filming.
lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Well,
have you been doing?
I've been very busy actually.
You've been to 2 cinema trips. That's
I've
it.
been on a lot of cinema trips actually.
That's it. That's
I
not
went
as
to
interesting
see-
as mine. You just went to the
very
cinema twice.
interesting. I'm now a film critic.
I was just about to say you're not a film
Well,
critic.
I just said I am a film critic.
Right.
So
Go on then,
I
tell
went
us
to
about
see
your
the
films.
Downton Abbey movie.
Who do you criticise films for?
Well, I've started to get opinions on films.
That's
I
good.
haven't yet monetized it, and no one has asked for my opinions, but I have opinions.
I'm asking for your opinion right now.
Okay, thank you.
I won't pay you. View this as an internship.
Okay, thank you.
What do you think of the Downton Abbey film?
I thought it was bad. I thought it was a bad film.
Okay.
I thought it was really bad.
Why?
Nothing happened. They're preparing for the Queen and King to come, and then the Queen and King come, and then it's it over.
Sorry, what do the Queen and King do?
What?
They have. No.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know if they have sex. You don't see it because it's Downton Abbey. They don't show that. I don't know if they had sex. It's not clear.
Is
They
it part of the
could have
plot?
Focused on that. That might have been interesting actually, but they
Your
didn't.
review has been derailed by him.
Absolutely derailed.
Have
Have you seen the film?
That
Have
is
you
that is
seen-
honestly, you're going to get way bigger hurdles than that as you enter your career in film criticism. Mark
Like
Kermode,
what?
Mark
What
Kermode, that
hurdles?
is the least of his problems is someone acting like the characters are all having sex.
Yeah,
in
and
the
this
film.
isn't like a review either. You just said nothing happens, then you told us what happened.
Okay,
Something did happen.
Two
But nothing happened.
stars,
Nothing
2
happens
stars,
in
review.
Downton Abbey. I like the show Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go like, oh, loads happened.
Sorry, you liked the show Downton Abbey.
Yeah, I really got into it actually just after a breakup, so I think that might be saying something. Maybe I liked at that point.
It's comforting, isn't it?
The comfort of the old. I also think it started genuinely really good and got progressively more crap.
Yeah.
The series.
I just think it's bad. I just like all the rich people are just so tired of
Hang
being
on,
rich.
do you like the series?
I watched it at the beginning, the same as Sean. I did like at the beginning, but then now Maggie Smith is very good. I shouldn't say things are very good if I'm a film critic, should I? Maggie Smith was
Why not?
surprising.
Okay.
No, you have to use descriptive words. Maggie Smith was tantalising.
Ugh.
No,
Did she get involved in this King and Queen?
Yeah.
no, we don't know. Well, that they didn't show that plot. Maybe they filmed it and they cut it. And then all the servants are just like so happy to be servants, and they just want to be servants harder.
Yeah,
know
what's
what I
wrong with
mean?
that?
I did watch the. I remember watching I saw a film. I saw The Souvenir, and I did a trailer
I
for
saw that
for
as well.
Downton. Now that's a film where nothing happens.
I love that film.
Well,
I think you didn't get it because a lot of people in Wimbledon didn't get it. I
What
found it
film?
very funny.
What? I've
I was
never heard
laughing
of
the
it.
whole way through.
well,
What
I
is
mean, I mean, the one thing it isn't is a comedy. So
It is a comedy, I think.
What, The Souvenir?
I laughed more than I've laughed in any film.
I don't think you're talking about the same film, are you?
Here we are.
Surely we're not.
The Souvenir, the one with Tom Burke.
Who's Tom Burke?
The guy.
Who's laughing at his name?
I've never heard that name. Am I like Tom Burke?
The guy in it.
I've never heard of Souvenir.
Joanna Hogg, is it? Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah, she's in it.
Yeah,
Oh, that one.
I saw the same film. It was
Yeah.
very funny.
I view it as a very, very bad drama.
I think you didn't get it.
But you view it as a very good comedy. So one of us is wrong.
How many stars? 3. Oh.
4 stars.
Out of
5 stars.
I
Traditional
would give it I would give it a 2 or a 3. I don't think it was
You
awful.
can never be a film critic.
No, it's getting
Couldn't be one.
5s across the board, and people
that
are
understand
idiots
films.
if you think that's good.
Sorry, you think you know more than a professional film critic?
About The Souvenir?
Yeah.
Well, I fucking know it wasn't
think-
funny.
If everyone else says it's good and he says it's not, it takes a lot of guts to say that.
Well, I think I had guts because I was laughing
You went
so
with-
much and nobody else was laughing.
Best comedy of the year.
But I was
You
going
were
to say
laughing on
is-
your own in the cinema.
Yeah, I was like laughing so much I was having to like stifle my laughs. But then all these old people just like everyone was getting cross. 2 people next to me walked out. I think 'cause I was laughing too much.
Wow.
Maybe I didn't get it.
That's a possibility. We'll let the listeners or the viewer decide. But before it, they had a trailer for the Downton Abbey film, and the trailer is awful.
Right.
Absolutely awful. Well,
And
the
I'm-
film is the same.
And I remember,
but longer.
but I also remember watching it thinking, what Britain doesn't need now is a film about how great the class system is.
That's
like,
what it is. It's
it
Brexit
feels
porn.
totally like so tone deaf.
Yeah.
But
People
what was good
love
about
it,
the
though.
class system was that everyone was like they didn't want more.
I say
So they
poor
didn't
people
have
did
that
want more,
psychological-
like, more money and food.
Oh, I think they wanted food.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were
that's-
starving, were they?
Oh, I
But
don't
they were
In-
definitely way less of a safety net than there was.
In
before.
Downton, I mean, the people display in Downton are in gainful employment,
Yeah.
but I don't think that represented British life in many ways.
Well, fair play to them.
Is that true? What I said?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Genuinely don't know.
I don't think Britain was just a series of massive estates with small amounts
No,
of
God, no.
servants.
That's the thing.
I think for the most
Yeah.
part it was brutal farming
Yeah, Oh no, it wasn't.
and feudal
It wasn't.
feudal times.
No, it was. It was the Industrial Revolution, wasn't it? It was way after. This is like this century.
Yeah,
Last
set during
century.
the Titanic's in it.
Yeah, so it's not. There's no.
With a
farming
brilliant
anymore.
performance, by the way, by Buscemi as the Titanic.
What?
I think.
Your glasses just got steamed up.
Yeah, because of the tea.
You
Don't step on my foot.
sorry. You had a question to ask Sean about a tote bag.
If it's about racism, I'm not.
Can I have one of those bags from your wife?
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
She gave
Is that why you asked me to come it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants a bag. We got one, and very nice. We've been using it.
Has
It's
it got a
bit
zip?
dirty.
It's a bit
It
dirty.
doesn't have a zip.
Why is
I
it
don't want
dirty?
I don't know. It was dirty when we got it.
Well, I think you got it because it was used to carry things to this place.
Yes, to bring beer actually, which was very kind.
Well, very kind, isn't it? We'll have the bag back if you want.
No, I do
If it's
want
too
it.
dirty?
Thank you. No, it's
I thought
Get you a
fine.
clean
Bobby
one.
uses it.
Maybe Bobby got it dirty.
No, but Bobby actually uses it. You can't give it back.
Can't give it back. I think he's taken it to Paris actually.
Can't,
So you can't have it back actually.
we haven't even discussed what you've put in shot here.
Oh yeah. I thought I should decorate the table a bit. As you can see, we've got. Would you say this is a flag? Is this a flag?
I'd put it on my ship. Yeah.
On your ship.
Yeah.
If I was at
Certainly
Glastonbury,
a
I'd go
flag.
down the pyramid stage with that.
What's your ship called?
I haven't got a ship, but
If you had a ship, what would you call it?
Sunil.
Sunil ship. You're meant to call it after a lady.
Are you? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all ships are women, aren't they?
Yeah. Sunil-
Susan.
Mrs. Sunil. Susan.
Susan.
Susan the ship.
No, you don't. Not all ships are just called something and then ship.
That's. Oh yeah, you just say the word.
Susan ship.
Yeah, Susan ship.
I don't think all the names of ships are feminine. I think the idea is the ship itself.
The ship
is a
itself
lady.
is- yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think some of them
Yeah.
are called like the old,
Yeah.
like the
Ship.
the
The old
Hispaniola
ship.
is not a woman.
That sounds
HMS
like a woman's
Belfast.
name. Is that a woman?
HMS Belfast.
Yeah.
I'd
Her
say-
Majesty's Secret Belfast. What
No,
does it stand
no.
for? What does it stand for?
It doesn't matter.
Her Majesty's
What
Secret
does it
Belfast.
stand for? HMS. That's what it is.
It's not secret though.
Her Majesty's Service Belfast.
Ship,
It's not catchy. Oh, Her Majesty's Ship Belfast.
Maybe it's. I think it is Her Majesty's service.
is it?
I think it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So
Gross.
you would have a flag. You'd put this flag on your boat. Where would you go on it?
Surprised at the huge amount of improv that we're having in this episode. But all right, let's go with it. What would I call my boat?
Your boat's called Susan, but you Mr. Susan because you don't want to be just because.
No, it is a feminine. It is a Susan.
Why does it have to be though?
Because all ships are female.
That's sexist. You can have some ships that want to be men, some ships that don't want to choose. Mr. Susan.
What is going on with this social? So much stuff today.
I've just got a lot of thoughts.
Okay,
I've
well,
got a lot of thoughts.
a ship should be able to self-identify
Yeah.
if it was a sentient being, but it's not.
Yes.
Isn't the idea is that traditionally most sailors and pirates were men, and so the idea was that they were married to the sea,
Married to
and
the
the sea was represented by the boat. Is that why they
Married
traditionally
to
go?
the boat.
Yeah.
She's a fine vessel.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
because they're fucking the boat.
I thought you'd name it after a lady that you love. Like that's what you'd. So who
Well, what
is
if it
Susan
What if
to
it
you?
sinks?
Well, then you say, "I guess it's over." I guess it's a sign.
Guess I got to leave my wife.
I
now.
guess it's a sign that this
Yeah.
isn't meant to work.
Maybe.
If you trust the sea and you love the sea.
I think what you're not allowed to do is rename the boat once you've named it. That's bad luck, isn't it?
Really? What if you buy a boat and it's called like "Fuck you, everybody"?
Go call it the fuck you, everybody.
I don't know if you do.
But otherwise you get
It's bad luck.
luck.
It's bad luck.
Don't want bad luck.
You don't want
On
bad
a
luck.
Ship,
I don't think it's
Like-
as bad luck as
Water.
having a boat called "Fuck You, Everybody." I think that's worse luck.
Yeah, but no one would call their boat "fuck you, everybody" because the resale value would be destroyed.
yes, you buy a cheap
So you're
boat
sensible with the
because
naming.
It's called "Fuck you, everybody."
Yeah, but
The boat's
who would
cheap,
call
they made
it?
a mistake. They were a teenager when they got the boat.
Was it? Is that right?
They were a teenager.
More
and they were going
hypothetical
through- They were angry. They were
scenarios.
having a bad time, so they called it "Fuck you, everybody."
Having a bad time, but they
Then-
bought a boat.
They inherited wood and they built a boat. they in
You
their
are
40s,
dodging all the bullets on this one, aren't
40s,
you?
They wanted
Alright,
to
go on.
resell it,
Yeah.
and then they realised to get a good price. I bought it.
Okay, fine. You
Very-
now own
I
"fuck
bought
you,
it for
everybody,"
cheap. I got "Fuck you, everybody" the boat.
and that's your flag.
I think they would have changed the name of the boat
Bad luck.
before.
No.
What do you mean bad luck? They've built a boat from inherited wood that's lasted them 25 years. I just think at some point they would have gone, this whole luck thing isn't real, and we're just either going to just change it even to "you, everybody," or "uck you, everybody."
No, you couldn't, because then if it sank, you'd blame yourself. Well, you'd be dead,
Yeah,
but
well,
other
you,
people would
you would
say
blame
you brought it
yourself
on
because you
yourself.
built it.
Oh yes.
I don't want anything to do
Wait,
with this.
I
Okay.
didn't buy it. I bought it. I didn't build it. Somebody else bought it, and I trusted them. But how do we know that they can build a boat? Do you have a boat license?
I would say if I was in my 40s and I was looking to purchase a boat, and one of the boats on offer was built by a man
What is
25
this
years
podcast
ago.
now?
I tell you
What
what,
is happening?
when I was a teenager, I built this
Teenager.
boat. I called it "Fuck You, Everybody," and this is the flag that's above it. I would hope that I had enough options that wasn't my only boat.
Yeah.
I would hope that that's the only boat I can buy.
And I hope you do have enough options when that time comes, Sean.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You don't have to buy that boat.
I would really like to own a boat. I think.
Would you?
Of all the things, you know, like the rich, like wealthy accoutrement.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
wealthy people. None of it means anything because I don't really know what more I would need. But I do think a boat would probably be the one thing I'd go for.
What kind of boat? Like a yacht?
Not
Like
a yacht,
sailing
but just like a nice little, like an old fishing
Dinghy.
boat. Like an old. Like,
Oh, like Tony Soprano's boat.
I don't know what that is.
A little fishing
A
boat.
working fishing boat.
No, maybe
So you
one.
would-
Maybe one that was a fishing boat, like the one in Jaws or something.
Like out in the sea or the canal?
The one in
No, out in the sea,
Out in the sea.
like with a motor.
What the fuck, Sean?
What are you going to do on it? Can
Doesn't
you?
make
Is there
any
a
sense.
bed in it or anything, or is it just an open top boat?
Like an open top boat, maybe with a small fridge or sort of kitchen area.
You've got
Yeah.
all
I
the
wanna
money
live
in the
out there.
world. You've got all the money. You're super rich. You don't
Well,
even
look.
want a big fridge. You have a small fridge. You don't even have a bed.
I'm viewing it in
And it
terms
stinks
of.
of fish.
You don't even want a
Because it
big
used to be
fridge
a-
in there. Why do you want a big fridge, you
A
lose?
fish.
The "fuck you, everybody" is alarmed with a worryingly large fridge.
With ice maker on it.
you want loads of drinks.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I'm
Entertain on the
I'm
boat.
talking about one that is viable for someone in my lifestyle. Okay.
So as a comedian,
Well, not as a comedian,
You-
but like if I was to make a little bit more money than I do now,
You would
and I kept
spend
going
it-
for 30 years, I don't think it's that ridiculous that I
So
could
you
own a
wouldn't
kind
buy-
of crap boat.
you wouldn't buy a house. You
Well,
would
no,
buy
because a boat is cheaper than a house.
an ex-fishing
I don't think it's-
boat.
Yeah. I think you're.
I think
it's-
the mooring costs are more than the boat.
I think you're more than capable of owning a ship boat.
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
Well, then let's do it.
I think it's loads of people own boats.
Okay. All I need to do is befriend a lumberjack and inherit their wood when they die.
Do you need a flag? Because
The boat's not
We're
going to be
fine.
wooden. The boat is not going to be wooden though, because they don't make
they're
wood
plastic
in
now.
like fiberglass or whatever, aren't they? Metal.
Yeah.
Really?
Like especially fishing boats, they need to be pretty.
They'll be
Robust.
metal, I think, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Metal? You'd think that would sink.
Here we go.
Well, yeah, you would, wouldn't
Bit
you?
of physics.
But they're
Yeah,
Metal
done.
is heavy.
Okay.
Is this going well? What do you ask for when you get your hair cut, by the way?
I
He knows
Eliot
what I
wants. I think we should go.
Yeah,
Just
we
stop
have-
talking
we
about your
go,
haircut. We're going.
All right. I ask for. Go on.
Stop talking about your haircut. So do you want to know when I cried?
No.
No. Should we just go then?
Yeah.
Have you cried? Do you have anything to say? We're going to tell us about your shitty haircut again.
Why are you in such a bad mood?
Because you are putting me in a bad mood. You arrived here in a bad mood and you told me that my house stunk.
No,
and
I
then
just
I
said
tried to fix it and you said, I don't know what it is. It just stinks.
You make it sound much worse than it was.
And then you said, I'm going for a piss. And then you went and pissed. And then it was rude, to be honest. It was rude.
It wasn't that bad. I came in. I said, "What's that smell?"
Yeah, which would you.
And then you got
that
worried.
question to make me paranoid.
No,
What
because
does
I
that
thought you
mean?
were.
What
I
does that
don't know.
smell?
I thought it was something. I thought you.
You're alerting me to the fact there's a dead body or something. Like, what did you?
It was a
think
bit of
that you were
lamb, so
going
we
to
found
get?
it. It's just a bit of lamb.
There's always lamb there. The cat eats lamb, so it always stinks. That's what you're saying.
And then I needed a piss.
Stinks. Do you think it stinks?
Of lamb, no.
Yeah, because.
What does it stink of? What
No,
is the smell?
I've not noticed any smell.
Well,
So
there
you're
is a
fine.
smell. There's a carrot cake candle. So that was a lie.
But the window's open.
Oh, it's going straight out the window.
Yeah.
There's the sound of the
Smells.
tram.
Yeah, there's the tram.
I'm sorry. We'd like to hear why you cried.
Well, Sean already knows why I cried.
Do I?
Yeah, you were there. So
Okay.
me and Sean got in a slight disagreement. Would you say?
Was it a disagreement?
I had a good point that you didn't want to acknowledge. I would say I knew something about something that you love, and I told you what I thought, and you couldn't hack it. And it ended with me crying and nobody speaking to me.
You cried.
Yeah.
I don't think you cried.
I
First
didn't
of all.
cry. I got very
You didn't cry.
overwhelmed.
And I also don't think nobody was speaking to you.
I was talking and Bobby said no one was looking at me. And I was talking for a good, 30 seconds with nobody looking. And they
No,
all
I'm
talking
turned
about-
away.
I do apologise. All right, we'll go through the story. But me looking at you, I did say, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's because there was a big screen with sport on it, and I just got drawn to it momentarily.
But I just carried on talking.
So what was it
But
about?
I was
though?
still
What was
listening. But it,
You
wa- I mean,
weren't
I,
listening. And
I
no
know
one was
it-
looking at me. And Bobby looked round and no one was looking to me. And I was just talking.
Yeah, but what was it about?
Okay,
What?
so have you ever heard of something called Star Trek?
Yes.
Okay. Star Trek is set in space. Yes, we know that. There's two different types of Star Trek. One of them has a man called...
already.
No, let's hear the
already
let's hear-
an infuriating.
There's two different types of Star Trek. Go on.
Yes,
No,
one of them has a man called William Shatner in it.
Yeah.
One of them has a bald man called Patrick Stewart in it.
Okay.
I assumed William Shatner was Patrick Stewart's dad or son. which
Okay, you
makes
thought they
sense.
were related. Yeah.
I thought they were related. Otherwise, is there another story set on the same ship? The only thing that's the same is the ship. All the other characters are different. There is no other show that exists like this. There's no EastEnders in Albert Square, but it's a whole different
Yeah,
gang.
it is.
What?
Completely different now to what it was 10 years
No,
ago.
no.
That is
No.
That is the point that I wish I made on the night. 'cause It
No.
would have made it
It's-
ended a lot because I went in
Yeah.
this weird direction with it and I took it the wrong way. That was perfect.
No,
Sunil.
because loads of people are still there that were back in the day. There's
Yeah, but
loads of the same
From
characters.
the original cast, none of them are there now.
Yeah, but their children are there, or their grandchildren. And anyway, Sean told me William Shatner is not Patrick Stewart's dad.
yeah.
They're not related.
And then
They're
you started
friends. And
crying.
no, because I was making really good points and no one was listening to me. So there is a ship. That's the only thing that it has in common.
So what are the two series? Are they called exactly the same thing? Star
What are they
Trek and
called?
Star Trek
No,
and Next Generation.
I mean, look, we've got what 7 minutes left until the camera explodes.
Yeah, just make it brief.
Is
Just
it?
make it quick.
Right. There have been multiple series of Star Trek. There's not two types of Star Trek.
Yeah.
They made loads in different timelines.
But why is it still Star Trek if nothing is the same?
Because it's set
You
in
could
the
just say
world of
anything
Star
is the
Trek.
same.
It's set in the world.
So
Everything
the world
is
of
set in
Disney.
the world.
It's like the world of
Everything is set
Disney.
in the world.
But it's the world of Disney, which is a different world.
No, but there is no Aladdin and Mulan are not the same.
How about the
And
Marvel
no one ever
universe
thought they
where
were.
they sometimes meet up, or most of the time they don't?
I don't know about that. Let's not get
Well,
distracted.
Well, it is
Okay,
like that. I mean,
Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the issue at hand.
Oh,
which
okay,
is
sorry.
Star
and
The
Trek.
issue,
also,
yeah.
a lot
Yes.
of the characters from the original Star Trek are in the other Star Trek.
Like who?
Spock's in both.
You
Sulu's
did
son
not
is
say
in
that Spock was in both.
I did say that.
Spock is in both.
He is. He's in the original one, and then he makes a few appearances in the others.
Like as a guest just appearing.
Yeah.
Is he in the first episode?
No, but
Doesn't make any sense then.
but
Where
McCoy-
are we? What is happening? We could be anywhere.
McCoy's in the first episode.
So there's one character that's the same and a ship.
No, the ship is also different.
See, there's one character, so it should be called the McCoy Show because it's actually a spin-off about McCoy.
But why
Thank
is this?
you.
Why is this worth arguing about?
Because I feel very strongly about it.
It's not worth arguing about. She started talking, and I remember I switched off because you kept talking, and every time I brought up a thing that disproved what you were saying, beyond the fact that what she's saying is wrong.
It's
It's
not
like
wrong.
you found a glitch.
It's not wrong. I found a
What's
glitch.
wrong?
You found a glitch and then started crying because you found the glitch.
No, it isn't that. You can't say it's not wrong. Your initial thesis was that William Shatner is Patrick Stewart's dad or son. I told you outright that's wrong, and then
Then it
said, but
doesn't
they
make
are
any
connected
sense.
in other ways.
But that's why I got lost because if they're not sons, then how does it make any
But hang
sense?
on,
Because
well,
one of
I've-
them was a
Does
captain
it
of the
make-
Enterprise, and then the other one was also a captain of the Enterprise,
It's a
and they
different
also
Enterprise,
meet
not
in
even
one
the
of the
same-
films. They meet.
A film, not the TV series.
Honestly, I'm gonna. There better not be rugby on in this room. I'll start watching that again.
Anyway, I was making very
Actually,
good
do you know
points.
what? I'd like to hear why they're both called the Enterprise,
Yes.
and they're both called. Are they called the same? Are they the same name? The captains?
Picard and Kirk.
No, they're different captains. It's just
Yeah.
the same ship.
But it
it's
isn't
not
even
the same ship. It's like there being an Albert Square, but it's in Japan, and none
Okay,
of the
so why
characters
is
are
it-
the same,
so it's
apart
not
from
the
someone
same
called
ship?
McCoy turned
One's
up.
the Enterprise. One's
One's called the Enterprise and one's called the Enterprise D.
right.
4 versions of the Enterprise along.
Yeah, that's what it
A
is.
bit like, you know how like when they release a Toyota
Yeah,
Yaris,
yeah.
and then they release another Toyota Yaris a few years later.
No, sure,
But
they
then
don't
why
know
is
about
some
that.
of the
Still
characters-
Toyota Yarises, but they're just different.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
And it's not like the
It's
person.
just-
It's not like everyone who owns the Toyota Yaris in 3 years has to be related to the one who bought the first
Yeah.
one.
Is there a TV series about the Toyota Yaris? No, and I don't think there will be.
No,
Well,
but you get
that's-
what the analogy that he's
No,
making.
Yeah.
not at all. Because TV and cars are not the same.
Well, I don't understand what's so hard to figure out about this.
It's so obvious that this should not exist.
What shouldn't
Because
exist?
it's just
But
a
it's a
thing.
big. It's a big hit though.
But they're wrong. Everyone is wrong, and no one knows it.
Okay.
It
I don't
should
know
be
what's
called the
wrong.
McCoy Show. It
Why?
follows a man called McCoy because he's the only thing left from the original. There's no other show like this.
But it's
There
just
are
called
other
Star
things
It
from
Trek.
the
doesn't
original.
make sense.
But they're
There's
all in
not.
the original. They talk about all the original people are in it. All the original people are dotted throughout the series, and the world is the same, and the villains are the same. It's about the progression of a fantasy world. Do you
There's
think
no-
Do you think the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings shouldn't exist? 'Cause it's the
He's
same.
his grandson, Bilbo
not.
Baggins.
Then-
Yes, he is.
No, I thought you were talking about the Enterprise.
No, we've learnt that they're not sons.
No, but there are equivalents of that in it. Like
I
Spock's
disagree.
uncle was in the new one,
That's such a tenuous link. We're
And
making
Spock-
a TV series about someone's uncle that was in the
but they're
original
not.
one.
They're making a TV
Doesn't
series
make
about the
any
same
sense.
world.
Yeah, but everything's in the same world. Every show that we watch is so we could watch EastEnders. That's in the same world as Star
Another-
Trek.
But
No,
it
it's
isn't in
not.
the same world. It isn't.
Yes.
It isn't.
Yeah,
Unless they
humans-
explicitly say that. They go, right, now they're in the same world.
Well, are Star Trek and Star Wars in the same world?
No.
They both have stars in them,
Oh
and they're
my
in space.
God.
But what is different about it?
They're made up. They're in someone's head. They're not real.
But it's based on humans, so everything is in the same world.
I
It
just
do-
can't- I
doesn't
guess
make
so.
any sense.
I just
Well,
can't.
it's
You're
the-
both not looking at me, and I'm getting flashbacks from
No,
when
I
we
just-
weren't talking
but you
about
brought up
this.
an interesting point. What is the nature of reality?
Thank you. Wait. Wait, what?
And then we'll just
Okay.
cheers.
Anyway, it was upsetting how everybody didn't listen to me, and I'm actually making very
No,
good points.
I think what you're trying to say
And-
is that you're confused, not confused, but it's like
I'm not confused. I'm making actual sense.
all this
Everyone
stuff is
else
made
is
up,
confused.
but you're taking it too seriously.
You think that because there's not direct, obvious links between the two, that the second one shouldn't have any... Fans of the first one shouldn't care about the second one. Whereas I
I
guess...
just don't understand how it got made. I don't understand. In no
Because Star Trek is one of the most
They-
famous shows
Then
ever,
why
so they
don't
made
they
a
carry
new
on
one.
the story of the characters? William Shatner had to live in his car. Why did they bring in a new guy that's not even his
What do you
son?
mean he lived in his car?
William Shatner lived in his car?
He lived in his car. He lived in his car because he didn't have any money.
You're
after
talking about
he
the
made-
actor, not the
Wait,
character.
what's the name of the character?
Kirk.
He didn't live in his car.
We don't know. We don't follow his story.
There's
we
no
don't know
cars
what happened to him. Are there cars in Star Trek?
Why are you mixing up the actors with the characters and the show
Absolutely
with your
mad.
real life? I don't understand this.
I am making so much sense, and nobody else is making any sense.
You're
And you are blinded because you love Star Trek, and you don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
not blinded because I love Star Trek. I'm blinded because what was I supposed to penetrate this wall with, if not facts?
It doesn't make any sense. There's not John Hamm from Mad Men. They're not making a show about John Hamm's uncle that's set in the same office, but the office is in a different place.
No,
and
they
it's
haven't done a
different.
spin-off of Mad Men. But
Even
they
if
could.
they did, they'd do it with a character. They wouldn't just do it with John Hamm's uncle.
They might
and say
do.
it's in a
They might do
different
it in the
place, but it's
same.
the
They might do it in the
show.
same
They'd say
office
it's a
30 years
different show.
later
No.
and call it
No.
Mad Men 1980.
Yeah, then it would be the same thing.
That's exactly what they've done with Star
Is
Trek.
it in a different time then?
Yes. It's like set 100 years after.
Oh my
That's
god.
why their sons and stuff are in it sometimes.
You just said there weren't any sons in it.
I said they are in there, just not in the first episode. So you thought they were set at the same time?
Yes, and it didn't make any sense.
So you thought it was
because
like a
it's the same
reimagining of
shit.
it?
Okay, right.
All right.
Okay, well, it's starting to make sense now. Thank you.
You're just unwrapping a foil thing directly into the microphone.
Can I have half that tea cake?
Yeah.
Do you want to split that?
Yeah. Shall I just bite
You're
off
really
half of it?
upsetting Eliot, actually. That's so noisy. Make it less noisy.
You thought they were set in the same timeline. Of course you were
Well,
confused.
I'm feeling much better now,
Well, that's
actually.
why they
I'm
met.
not confused. You're confused. Can we just say first? I'm making actually a very valid point. But I've got a bit lost along the way. Do you want to hear a sad story?
What are these?
They're cats.
Yeah, but what? Oh, they're ceramic.
What's ceramic?
Yeah, then. Well, are they ceramic? They're sort of
Well,
pottery.
they're not China, are
Who
they?
made them?
No, they're like plastic. I don't know. I don't know who made them.
Who gave them to you?
Friend of the family.
Thank God you didn't buy them yourself.
Why?
I don't know. It'd just be a strange thing for you to buy.
Why would that be strange?
Because I'll just buy these for the house.
It was a gift. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
a
like
gift
cats.
is fine, but if you bought them for yourself, it would be just a bit odd.
Bought that for myself.
Yeah, fine.
Do you want to know what it says?
What have you bought?
Magic does not have to make sense.
So you bought that for yourself?
Yes,
Where from?
I just liked it at a shop in Bath.
So wait, you've got that. and it says
Someone-
magic
I
does
think
not
it's-
have to make sense, but Star Trek has to.
I think it's a Christmas decoration, maybe.
Oh,
I
that-
didn't realise that,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, though, is very feral. Look at all the faces, and then look at that face.
Red eyes.
Very, very a rabid cat, actually.
Someone looks like a pig.
No, it doesn't look like a pig. It's a cat. Well, how many green pigs do you know?
You gonna read out the sad story?
You've got nice mugs. Can I just say that?
Thank you.
I
very
think
much.
they've got really good mugs in this place.
Thank you. I take that very seriously, and I appreciate it because it did feel like I was working in a cafe earlier when I made everyone.
You should see my mugs at my house.
What do you mean it
It's
felt like?
got your face on them.
What do you mean it felt like you worked?
I
in a
was
cafe?
having to get everyone teas and milk and have to go and cook tea and coffee. It was just
Cook.
very tiring.
Pop that tea in the oven.
Yeah, very tiring.
Can I just let the people listening to this know that
Yes.
you offered me tea or coffee,
Yes.
and I said I'll have a coffee, please.
Yes.
And then you took one step, poured coffee that was already made into a cup, gave it to me. Went, do you want milk? And
Yes.
I went, yes. And you went, oh, it's like I'm a bloody cafe here.
And then you forgot the spoons. For those
Yes,
of
well,
us
I
who-
forgot
And I
the
said I didn't
spoons.
need a
But-
spoon.
Yeah. Well, how else are you going to get the tea bag out? So.
Well, I've ordered a coffee. So.
Okay. okay. So we've got actually a few different options of stories we can talk about today. So we've got shall I give you like word clues of what you could pick? So
Just tell us your favourite
one is no.
Okay.
You pick your favourite.
Okay.
So we've got sad girl, we've got dog buried alive, and we've got Operation Owl.
Al. What do you reckon?
You can pick a different one if you want, Sean.
What was the middle one?
Dog buried alive, which I imagine is a sad story.
I don't think we've got the emotional maturity to deal with that story.
I think that probably is a sad story, actually.
What, a dog buried alive?
The point is to make Sunil feel something.
Oh,
and,
no, I've seen that one.
What do you mean?
Dog buried alive. I've seen that story.
Where?
Well, it was in India, wasn't it? So the mother was trying to get its puppies out of.
No, not unless India is in Hawaii.
Okay, go on. Let's do that one then. Let's do your Hawaii dead dog thing.
Oh, it is quite brutal, actually. I think you can just imagine, really.
Is that the story? It's just,
It's just
dog
why
buried
do it upset
alive.
Everybody, it's quite upsetting actually.
But just
The
tell us it
dog was
rather than tell
really
us what to.
burned. The dog got really burned.
You haven't even read these.
I have read it.
But you're reading it now.
I didn't realise until it's very dehydrated. There's 90% of the fur is missing. It's covered in sores.
Just move on to the owl. It's alive. It's alive though.
It's alive now
It's
though, and
alive.
it's got a new scarf.
Okay.
So that's that one. Okay.
Great.
So why everyone needs to support Operation Owl, where there's a national Operation Owl campaign, because the UK bird of prey.
You stumbled at the word operation.
sorry.
Okay,
They've
go on.
been targeted for years, shot, poisoned, or trapped.
Really?
Yeah,
Owls.
owls.
Why?
Wait, hang on. It's not actually about owls. It's very confusing.
Keep
It's
going.
actually about red kites, which is a different.
But it's
kind
called
of
Operation
bird.
Owl.
It's called Operation Barrel, but actually, I said bowel. Sorry, I just got really worked up. Okay, so it's actually all birds, really. Hens.
Hens.
All birds. Because the thinking is that we all care a lot about rhinos and elephants, and we're ignoring the birds in our own garden,
Please come on.
and they're not being treated well.
Sorry, can you scroll up a bit? Because
Yep.
it said what it was up there.
Yep.
Operation Owl Stop is about raising awareness
Of these crimes,
against birds.
people are poisoning birds. There's 3 different types of poison that they're giving the birds, and it's just not kind. And people I'm just summarising. Anyway,
It's about letting the public know that the police
Yes.
care about wildlife,
why do we need to know that the police care?
so you can ring them if there's a problem.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. If I called the police and said, I think someone has poisoned a hen on my street, I wouldn't want them to come. I'd
Why?
go like, yeah, that's good, but there's like drug dealers
Yes.
and murderers we need to get.
yes.
Why did you think this was a sad story?
Because hens are being poisoned. Do you not find that sad?
You
Fine,
didn't
I'll
even
go to
know
the
that
final
before
one.
you.
I
You
did
haven't
know
even
about
read
it.
it. You
Operation
didn't
Owl,
read
I
it
have
properly
read it.
again.
I have read it.
No, because halfway
Stop
through you
saying
were like,
I haven't
"Oh,
read
actually,
it."
this is about all birds." You didn't know that before, so you haven't read
I
it.
missed where it said red kite and
And
hen
every other bird.
and peregrine. So we'll move on, shall we?
When are you ever going to read one of these
I
stories
do
before
fucking
you
read
read them?
them. Right. Here's the next one.
Language, come on now.
Sad girl autumn is here.
Yeah.
Hot girl summer is over. It's time to mourn.
I don't know.
'Cause
I'm
we're on,
lost. I'm a bit lost.
Sad girl fall is the best time to be.
That's a different headline.
Cold,
That's a
cozy.
different headline. You just.
And honestly, a little bit Ms, which I think is a short word for miserable. It's technically a hot girl summer. You've spent the past few months living your best life, wearing euphoria makeup and challenging your knees with
You're
Megan.
a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
Summer.
What is this?
You've done all the beach trips and you've drank all the rooftop bars. You found yourself a summer fling. We've been, but
Let's wrap this
may
up.
I
Come on, this is
suggest
not a
it's
sad
time for
story.
Sad girl fall. I will make my first case with sad
Don't
girl.
just read it endlessly. You don't even know what's happening.
When I summarise it, you say that I don't know what's happening, so I'm just reading it all completely.
You've not once summarised any of these stories correctly.
Okay, why are we sad again? There's many reasons to choose from.
Here
The
we
world
go.
is on fire.
Huh?
Summer is over. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're on a par. Sad, it's getting cold out. Sad, it's cuffing season and you're still single.
What's cuffing season?
It's when you have to, cuff up, I think.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Is it like,
I don't know.
I imagine it like cufflinks, like you need to find your other cufflink.
I
Your
really
summer
think
fling
that's what it
has
is?
ended. The year is basically over. So it's good that it's time for love for you.
This
and
is
it
written
means
really badly. I feel sorry
more
if you having to
time
read this.
with your toxic relatives and stress.
Well, that's assuming a lot.
So it's on a positive note. Big coats, big scarves, and festive hats.
This is not a sad story. Why have you done this? This is.
It's got sad girls.
This is an article
fall.
about how it's nearly winter.
Yeah, it's sad girl fall starter pack. So you can get a faux fur coat, a weighted blanket. Do you have a weighted blanket? They're actually very popular because it feels like someone is hugging you when actually it's just a weight in a blanket. Would you like that?
How much heavier are they than regular blankets?
Much heavier. They give you a crushing feeling, like as if you're being crushed by a human.
I don't know if that's...
They're only £240. Shall I get you one? You want one? Slippers and an electric kettle. Oh, that's good. Does that kettle not have a lead? That would be really good for me. And a brown sugar candle. So this is in Elle magazine. Sad Girl Fall Explained. So there we go. That's the sad stories.
Okay, you got anything to promote or anything,
this
Sean? You got anything to
week?
No, nothing. Harriet.
Yeah, I'm on tour. Anybody want to come and see me after that? I'm on tour around the country. Tickets at harrietkemsley.com. Next up, York, Aldershot, Aberdeen, Leeds. No one is looking at me again. This is what has happened.
Sorry,
this is exactly what happened before.
I'm just getting ready for the end of it.
Exeter,
Address it to the camera.
Dorchester.
Don't say them all, please. Dates available on your website.
Dates available on website.
I'll be doing the Objectively Funny Festival at the Albany in London on the 28th of September.
Great.
And then Aberystwyth. I think that's on the 5th of October.
Are you doing a musical there?
I don't know.
I feel I was a bit hysterical during this episode. I got a bit nervous with the camera. I think.
I think well, it's all right. I've got a bit of a sugar crash now. I was doing well earlier.
Sean, you have a podcast. Do you just not want? You don't want to get.
I've got a new
promote
podcast
after-
coming out soon.
Oh,
actually.
fuck off with your podcast. No one cares.
What's your new
Sean.
podcast?
No, don't ask him about
Oh,
it.
I
It's
don't know
a
what it
cheat.
is.
I'll tell
Cheating
you.
on this
I'll
podcast.
tell you when I finish.
No,
Why?
yes, don't
I
go
think
on his
he's-
other podcast.
I think he's such a good presence on this. I would like to hear more of him in a different scenario.
What,
I
without
still-
me. You'd like to listen to him when I'm not there.
Yeah, but I'd listen to you if you had another podcast as well.
Well,
Don't you?
maybe
yeah, you
I
should do another
get one.
Yeah,
I
maybe
should
do
get
another.
one.
Maybe this is the
Maybe I
last one we
will.
ever do.
What's your other podcast?
It's one with. I mean,
Don't promote it. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Don't
what.
tell
Once
anyone.
it's
If you want to
launched,
find
I'll
it,
tell
look
you.
for it.
Yeah,
How many have you have you
up,
recorded
Sean.
of?
just a
Shut
pilot,
up.
and then a few more to do
Stop
now.
asking him
Put
about.
some cash behind it.
Yeah, a bit of money. behind
Anyway, not going to tell you about Sean's podcast.
What's
He's
your
got a
flag
very good.
situation?
it. It's all been done for us.
Great.
We've already got a flag.
Hmm?
We've 2.5 years.
No, there's no flag. It's not being filmed.
Yeah, good.
I've got a podcast called Sean and Eliot Read the Bible with this guy here. Hey.
Get in camera.
Elliot, get on the
Elliot.
camera. Elliot has to wear sunglasses because he's a cool dude.
Eliot will give him pink eye, but
It's not pink eye, it's ocular herpes.
Ocular herpes, which is not the same as regular herpes.
What an
Yeah,
absolute.
it's not. It's just important.
What an absolute round table of people you've got.
if you've watched this and you've thought that was clearly very well put together, why don't you come and watch his podcast with me live, 3rd of November
Ooh.
Oh, we're opening for it, aren't we?
under
Are
Bill
we?
Murray.
Yeah, we're opening for
Oh
it.
no, you've been pulled. His new
Okay.
podcast is opening for us.
Thanks for listening or watching.
Bye.
Bye.